The greater things. How do we do the greater things? Why don't we see more greater things? So I'm going to give you 7 things you can write down that will help you if you follow through to see why your passion doesn't stay alive. So today, we want to look at unresolved conflict. This is huge. This is huge. Job 5:2 says, surely resentment destroys the fool, and jealousy kills the simple. When we have unresolved conflict, whether it was with our marriage, our family, our work, neighbors, whoever it's with. You know, my friend's mother's neighbor irritated her to no end. So she decided one day that she was going to put bushes all down the edge of her driveway so they couldn't cross over. So then the neighbor decided they were going to put these brick things down, but the neighbor measured better than she did, and her bushes were on their property. And a small conflict suddenly became a huge issue. And my friend's mother, the next week, got very sick. It was Dale's mom. She got very sick. You see, the unresolved conflict in her started making her body sick. Unresolved conflict is huge. It will destroy you. Job 18:4 says, you may even tear out your hair in anger. God wants to help us. Matthew 18 tells us how to resolve conflict. You ever seen the movie Frozen? Let it go, let it go, let it go. Okay, they didn't ask me to sing in the movie. But see, unresolved conflict will kill you. But if you will just let it go and leave it with Jesus. And maybe you're right. Maybe they're wrong. Leave it with Jesus. Let him deal with it. Because he will. He will be faithful. Because when we do not deal with unresolved anger, unresolved conflicts, we have opened the door to the enemy. Remember those verses, John 10:10? Soon as we open the door, the thief can come in and steal. You know, when I was a kid, nobody locked their doors in Brampton. You could walk in any house. The doors were always open. And then crime started to move in the city a bit. My dad says, well, maybe we should lock the doors. And my mother says, well, we've never locked them. Let's not start now. And my dad says, well, shall we just make tea and let the thieves have tea and take what they want? But you see, that we laugh, but that's exactly what we do with ourselves. We open the door for the enemy to walk in and take from us because we will not deal with the things of our life. Jesus said, forgive. How many times? 70 times 7. Whatever it is, just forgive them. Let it go. Let God deal with it. He is a faithful judge. He will always deal with it. He keeps better records than you, and he remembers the right details. He never misses a thing. He wants to help us to be able to do greater works than he by learning to deal with unresolved conflicts in our life and just let it go and forgive like Jesus did. And know that if we trust him, the same God that saved me, the same God that spoke to my life, the same God that speaks wisdom into me, he can speak to that other person. If they're not saved, he can get them saved. He can reach them better than I can reach them because it's his job, not mine. He is the one that can reach out to them. He is the one that can turn their heart. Proverbs says he holds the king's hearts in his hand, and he can turn it whichever way he will. If he holds the king's, there's nobody he can't reach. I tell you, God wants to help us to let things go in our life so we can be pure and holy before him and be able to be in a position where we can do greater works because he is sitting at the right hand of the Father, because it's what his word declared for you and I. He wants to help us today. Some people, they get into unresolved conflicts. They get into other things, and then they go to the next one, isolated lifestyle.